We're live. Scott and Mary's Ping Pong Podcast, number 20. Hey, everybody. We're back.
We are back. After a bit of a hiatus.
July 4th weekend. We had...
That was terrible.
Anybody saw our fireworks display that was kind of far away, but from my folks' house in Redondo, they've got a great balcony where you can see just millions of fireworks, but they're kind of low.
They are far away.
But you can hear them, and you can see them, but you might need binoculars to really get the effect. I tried to zoom in with my iPhone, but it's really hard to focus an iPhone in Facebook Live. I could do it with I've got a camera app that I use for shooting video, where I can shoot pretty good and focus and control the, it's called Filmic Pro, F-I-L-M-I-C. It's mostly for video, and you can focus separately, you can put on, you can control the amount of light that's going in, the ISO or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
The f-stop or whatever, and
One of those
you can
camera
control the zoom, and you control the focus manually, and so for that, you'd be able to get a slightly better picture. But in the Facebook Live app, it was a bit of a challenge. So, I don't know, I'm sure there's a solution out there with a zoom lens that you can use on Facebook Live, but maybe Karen can work on that. And Sabrina is in Salzburg, Austria now. She was scheduled to fly from here to Dallas on Sunday because her program was starting on Monday, and so she was scheduled to go LA, Dallas, Munich, and then take a train from Munich to Salzburg. And she got her frequent flyer miles with a one-stop flight and then a couple of trains, and the trains were not the problem. The problem was she got to Dallas, and the plane that she was going to take from Munich to Munich from Dallas had no power. And so it took them 2, 3, 4 hours before they finally said, okay, we're going to switch out the equipment. And she was supposed to be in Salzburg at about 5 p.m. on Monday, and her flight was scheduled to get in, I think, at 8. So she had about a 7-hour wiggle room, and so they used up about 4 hours of that with changing out equipment. And then they changed gates, which Dallas is a huge airport, so she had to take a train.
Not just gates, terminals.
Yeah, different gate, different terminals, from terminal, I think, C to D. And then they had to wait for the new equipment to come, and then they had to wait for a new crew, and then they had to wait for new pilots, and then they had to finally had some delays. They had to clean it or something. They had to get all the stuff on, all the luggage and all the people and all the food and stuff on, and then they got on after
6 or 7 hours. It was a long time.
6 or 7 hours. She was supposed to have like 3 hours or something in Dallas, and so she wound up with 7 hours. They get on the plane, and they've got weather, and they're sitting on the tarmac for several hours, and then somebody in first class threw up all over their seats and themselves in the plane, and at that point they had to come back to the terminal, and it was too late for the next flight crew that they had, the second flight crew, to continue working because they'd been working too long, so they canceled the flight.
So she was stuck in Dallas.
So I reached out to the Bards, and I reached out to the Steinfelds, and everybody was very nice about wanting to help. We talked to American. They gave her, first they had her standing in line, and the line was just going incredibly slow because everybody from this plane was trying to get something done. You know, they needed to get rebooked, and then they needed accommodations because there were no more flights available. If they had let them off and said, hey, at 8 p.m. we're not going to do this, we're going to cancel the flight, she could have gotten on a flight to London or Paris.
And at least been in Europe instead of in the States.
Right, she would have been on her way. But because they didn't cancel it till midnight, she was basically stuck in Dallas, and so they were going to give her a hotel voucher, but it was for a hotel that was 15 miles away, and this was at midnight, 1 a.m., and they were going to put her on a flight through Charlotte that left at 7 a.m., and then was going to go Charlotte to Munich, that she eventually decided on, but then she didn't have time to get to the hotel, because it was already 1:30 in the morning, I think, at that point, and she had to be at the airport with a couple of hours advance at 5 a.m., so she only had about 4 hours, and so she was sleeping in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport.
But she said that there were 2 military guys on the same flight as her, as well as a whole bunch of other people who were also booked on that flight to Munich via Charlotte. And one of the military guys stayed awake all night while they slept and watched their luggage for them, so that they could sleep without worrying about getting ripped off.
So, yay Army, go Army.
Go military. Thank you for your service.
So she grabbed
Woman or lady, gentleman or lady who said, I don't know, she didn't say.
And one of the things that we say is, if they start rolling out food, it means you're in trouble.
And they did. She
As
said
soon
they
as she
stayed
got to
out
the
of food.
D gate, they started rolling out food. So, yes, she wasn't hungry, but she was stuck in Dallas.
And then when she got to Charlotte, her flight from Charlotte to Munich was delayed, and she thought, oh no, here we go again. I'm going to be stuck in Charlotte. But it was only 90 minutes or 2 hours delayed or something like that.
It was supposed to be a 5-hour delay. She could have flown in later, but she didn't want to stay in Dallas-Fort Worth any longer. So she took the 7 a.m. flight instead of the 8:30 flight to Charlotte. The flight from Charlotte to Munich would be the same. And they did have a flight from Dallas to Munich for the next day, but that one was already sold out. So when she was on the plane, I think, they gave her a blanket and pillow, and so when she got off the plane, she took them with her. But when she went to lay down in Dallas-Fort Worth, a cart came by. You said you're sleeping in the airport? A cart came by with blankets and pillows. So this must not be the only time this has ever happened. This must be
Well, they
all
surrounded an
the time.
entire plane. I think they knew there were going to be a lot of people who weren't going to use the voucher for an airport hotel 15 miles from the airport. The cab fare and the trying to get back for an early flight. And, go to paddle. I mean, nobody wants to get on a 7 a.m. flight, but when you have to get there from a 15-mile away airport, no.
Yeah, the hotel was really far away. There's 2 airports in the hotel. There's a Hyatt and a Grand Hyatt, or a Hyatt Regency and a Grand Hyatt. But that's not what they gave them the vouchers for. We're giving vouchers for the Spring Hill Suites. It was 15 miles away. So it would have been better to probably stay with the Bards or with the Steinfelds, but by that point she only had a few hours until she was getting on the next flight. Also, there was the issue of your luggage is on the plane now. So even if after 3 or 4 hours she had wanted to just switch flights, she couldn't really until they canceled it. But she still had to find her luggage, so they didn't give her luggage. They just told her they were going to reroute it to her flight to Charlotte and then on to Munich. And that's not what they did, because then she got a notice, and we got a notice. We got lots of notices by email, delays and such, maybe 10 of them, that her luggage was not going to be there.
The luggage was not on the flight she was booked on.
Which is what they told us they were going to do when we talked to American Airlines to arrange the new flight. They said as soon as you check in, they will then reroute your luggage to go on your new flights. And they told her that's not what you're going to do. That's not what's happening. And so the long story is,
Long story is,
she was worrying about where's my luggage, where's my luggage, where's my luggage. And we finally got in touch with the luggage department, and it turned out they actually put it on the full flight from Dallas to Munich. They didn't take it to Charlotte.
the same flight she would have been on the next day, except that it had been sold out, the nonstop. They put her luggage on the nonstop. She had to wait like an hour, right?
Half an hour.
Because the other flight was just right behind them.
So she did get her luggage just by waiting a half an hour. When she got to Munich, and then she had to get from Munich to Salzburg, which is 2 trains. Basically, you have to go from the Munich airport to the Munich either Central Station or East Station, and then take a train from there to Salzburg. And then take a cab or an Uber to the place where she was staying that was maybe another 5 miles from where the train station is. It's walkable, but it's not a lot of luggage.
Not much fun with luggage, no.
It may not be 5 miles, maybe 2 or 3. But she couldn't really walk with all of her luggage.
Especially not if it's cobblestones. Which it could very well be in Salzburg. I wouldn't put it past the center of the city to be cobblestones.
So, compared to being stuck in Dallas and stuck in Charlotte, she was happy to get a train ticket. She did call me to ask me which station in Salzburg she was supposed to go to.
Because it was all in German.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was just she just didn't know which one.
Right.
But she didn't know that what the word for German,
The German word
real
for
the train station.
Right.
So, which is Hofbahnhof. And airport, I think, is Flughafen.
Yes. Oh. But, yeah. Does she not have Google Translate for holding up over?
Right, but she didn't know that
Yeah.
that was necessarily where she was supposed to go. The other issue was, as soon as she was leaving the airport, she did not have cell service because her cell company is Virgin Wireless, and they don't have international roaming. Nice. And so as soon as she got to Germany, her phone, except for Wi-Fi, was basically a brick. And so she called me from the airport in Germany.
Oh, good one.
She called me from the airport in Germany on Wi-Fi and said, okay, can you please activate my European cell phone? You're saying she had a European cell phone? Yes, she has a European cell phone that's on 3 is the name of the cellular provider in England.
Because we picked it up last year.
In Manchester.
And the chip was still
We
good.
saw Billy Joel. And you can look back to July of last year and you can see our highlights from
June of last year.
June of last year to the highlights of the Billy Joel show in Manchester.
Oh, that was a good one.
And we bought chips for our phones from Three, T-H-R-E-E is a cell phone provider. And so you can't buy top-up cards for these SIM cards unless you have a UK address. You have to have a credit card that's registered to a UK address. But you can go to mobiletop-up.co.uk and buy mobile top-up vouchers from them and then use it as a voucher on Three's site. And it took us, between her getting there, checking that she had signal, us putting in the number into the website, us going to topup.mobile, and us activating her phone, or reactivating her phone, total time was maybe 4.5 minutes. It was just insanely fast. But she was getting beeps and boops as soon as we did every part of the step. And as soon as she turned it on there, it was like, hey, you want to top up now? But they didn't realize she didn't have a UK credit card. And we actually paid via PayPal for...
So for all you weird people who are wondering how you travel and pay for weird stuff and weird countries, PayPal, for some reason, works really well.
So she got to Salzburg about 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday. She got to her
Scott
house.
DeRoy is watching and Rob Mermelstein are watching.
Hi, Scott. Rob.
Hi, Scott, Rob.
She got to the Lehrer house. If Andy Lehrer is watching, the place she's staying is named after you. L-E-H-R-E-R, Lehrer House in Salzburg is the dorm for her program. And she got there about 2:30, and she left our house about 5 a.m. on Sunday. So from 5 a.m. Sunday to
2:30 Tuesday.
on Tuesday, it was 48.5 hours that it took her to travel from our house to her dorm in Salzburg.
And thankfully, the only thing she missed was a meet and greet. Did she miss orientation too?
She missed the first orientation, but she made the orientation walk the afternoon on Tuesday.
Well, that's good. So, but you didn't miss any class, which is great.
Right, so the classes started Wednesday morning, and they were having placements and singing. I guess we'll find out what that is later.
We'll find out about singing. It's now the middle of the night there. She's asleep, so we can't ask her any questions for a while.
Yeah, we haven't adjusted. We've got my parents that are in Australia that are 17 hours ahead, and we've got Sabrina who's 9 hours ahead. So everybody's always asleep.
No matter when you want to talk to them, it's pretty much nighttime.
Nice.
All the way to the side. So, after 2 days of trying not to leave the house because we didn't know when Sabrina was going to say, hey, I need your help working out this rerouting, or help me with my German buttons on the ATM machine, or whatever, all those wonderful things mid-travel.
Yeah, there were a number of days of very stressful, what's going to happen now, what's going to happen now, what's going to happen now. And in the end, it just had to do with waiting. Everything kind of worked out as long as you just were patient, which is fine if you've got extra time. But if you've got non-refundable hotel reservations, or you've got a program you've got to be at,
or concert tickets, or...
Right. I think the lesson she learned from that is you're better off going in a couple of days early and staying in a hotel. But she's just turned 18, and so she's not just turned 18. She'll be 19 in August. But as an 18-year-old, she's never gone and stayed in a hotel in a foreign country by herself, and so she wasn't comfortable with it. But now I think she said it'd be much more preferable than we're staying in a hostel. I know Jenna has and Haley has wandered around Europe, and we certainly have.
Good one. Youth hostel would have been a good choice for her, I think, if we'd gone her in a couple days early.
Yeah, I mean, the hotels, a simple hotel is not very expensive.
Yeah, it's not very hard.
You can get a hotel room for $100 perfectly.
It's just, Salzburg is just not really an easy place to get to with the least amount of stops. It's pretty much from LA, you're either going to fly on a one stop into Munich or Vienna and take a train, or you're going to fly 2 stops into Salzburg. And given if she had had 3 planes, how messed up that would have been. It's too many options of things to go wrong, right? With 3 flights in one day.
Yeah, the show The Amazing Race kind of shows that pretty specifically, that you have people who are racing teams across the world, and you're being timed. So do you want a one-stop or a non-stop? Unquestionably you want a non-stop, but you could certainly win on a one-stop if the non-stop's delayed. So, thumb shot.
Didn't have to bend down.
We also had our sister's kid, Holly, staying with us over the weekend, or over the week. Was here working at Anime Expo. That was fun to have a visitor. But we did have a shortage of rooms.
We did have a shortage of rooms, and we did have, issues with Holly's lost papers.
Yeah.
Holly lost her wallet, and so it was...
We had to wait for
her passport to come from her being shipped from Seattle so that she could fly home because she no longer had a driver's license.
She was also having a hard weekend because one of her pets died. But I figured that wasn't that great of a story to tell because nobody wants to hear about people's pets dying. Which is why I told everyone.
I don't think that was a good idea.
Anybody new watching?
No, not according to the comments. But sometimes my phone does not update, so you can go take a breather behind your phone and see if there's any other comments that I haven't seen on my update.
So yesterday we did a ping pong podcast because the All-Star game was on. Or we didn't walk. I came up married. And what was the day before? It was Monday. We were still in the middle of the Sabrina.
Monday we had to take Holly to the airport in Santa Ana.
And it was also the home run derby. Anybody who didn't see that home run derby was amazing. Now, Lauren was telling me to watch it, but he only watched the final round. It's like, well, that was over by then.
That was the second round.
The second round was amazing.
The second round was intense.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. plays for the Toronto Blue Jays. was in the first round, was just destroying. You know, it wasn't that he was trying to hit home runs, it's that he was trying to kill the ball. He was trying to destroy the ball, to make it feel pain. And he broke the record for all-time one round in the first round of 29 home runs in one round. And the Dodgers, Jock Peterson, who was not in the All-Star game, but did go for the home run derby, won his first round with like 21 home runs. And so they were then set up against each other in the second round. And Vladimir Guerrero goes out, Jr., and hits another 29 home runs, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is the record. So in order for Jock to move on, he has to basically break the record after hitting 21 in the first round. And so it was basically almost impossible. And Jock goes out and he hits 29 home runs. And so they then have a playoff, which is both of them get one more minute. It's 4 minutes originally, with a 30-second bonus if you can hit 2 home runs over 440 feet, which they both did. So they both have 4.5 minutes in the second round to get their 29. And then they both, do you remember how many they each had in the 1 minute? It was like 8 each or something. But
They got to like
first.
38 or 39, I think. 30, maybe 38, 37 or 38.
Anyway, they both tied in the 1 minute
Hit
playoff. Hit off.
It's tied a second time now.
So then they go to you get 3 swings, and whoever wins that, after 3 swings, wins, and they both hit the same number. They both got 2, or they both got 1?
I think they both got 1.
And they both got 1, so then they went to the third round of the playoffs.
3 pitch.
And the second round of 3 pitch.
Swing.
And
Swing, not 3 pitch.
Vlad hit 2, and Jock hit 1. Right?
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. Just amazing, amazing, amazing. And Vladimir Guerrero was so exhausted by Jock Peterson's home run hitting and competition that he just got smoked in the finals by a guy who hit like half as many home runs.
But there's some controversy that one of his home runs, Jock's 29, one of the non-home runs was misidentified that he actually hit 30.
Huh.
There is a picture of Charlie Kershaw dragging something that says Peterson 30 on it. So they were talking about how one of the home runs might have not been properly called.
So
But it can only go by what happens at the time.
Pete Alonso, I think, eventually won, right?
Yes.
That they have to redo it and have Jock and Pete go after it. The thing, usually you don't want your players to play in the home run derby because it messes up their swing. But with Jock, I just don't feel that way. He's such a dramatic, sort of violent hitter that it's almost like him getting to be on that kind of stage and get so many people to see his abilities and his skills, I think is actually going to help him.
Ooh, good catch. That's the non-paddle hand being used as paddle. Oh! Almost hit the camera. Did you see it coming? We'll have to watch later and see if it came. Oh, I can watch now.
And Mary's is
Oh
on a
yeah!
delay.
You can see it come right at the camera. It's great.
All right, I think we're at our final volley, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, final volley.
We got to get back to walking.
Can't spend all day playing ping pong.
So Jacob applied for an apartment and didn't get it. And then yesterday, right? He had applied like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. It's the perfect apartment, 1 bedroom, reasonably priced for the area, a block from campus.
Didn't you go down to look at places on Tuesday?
We only went once, and it was yesterday.
Ah, okay.
Yesterday was Tuesday.
Yesterday was Tuesday. Oh, that's it. Today is Wednesday.
And so as soon as he got this message that he didn't get this apartment, he started. It took about 2 weeks to get an answer. He started, calling from his list of, leads, and got an appointment. We went down pretty much immediately. We liked it, and so he sent in an application last night. We're talking to people today, so it's looking pretty good. So he may have an apartment before we leave.
It would be great to know that's settled. Even if we're not getting him moved in before, he's got time. Let me get back to move in.
Yeah, the costs are higher than they are. they're not as high as they were at USC, where we have apartments, but they're still pretty high. And so
Yeah.
it's funny to say, oh, that's too expensive when we charge more for ours. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.